Well, today we have Miss Barbara Heil-Sonneck with Design to Sell. They are the most unbelievable company. They serve the entire Atlanta area, one of the largest staging companies in the country, even in the world. Barbara has ran this company literally at a new level and bringing so many people in, including the people overseas that are coming in to intern. It's just a wonderful, and they love to serve the luxury market, but also love to help everyone. So welcome, Miss Barbara. How are you today?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you. And thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, I can't wait to talk with you for the next few minutes about kind of unpacking home staging, what our businesses look like today. We had some fun laughs before we hit record here, and I know that you are so, gosh, well-rounded in so many aspects of business, personal. To give everyone just a little inside scoop of you and your company and kind of your track record as you're coming into the home staging industry.
Absolutely happy to do that. So started the company around 2007, 2008, was traveling in after corporate and, corporate world where I was, running customer satisfaction and global projects, traveled a lot. But I was on the search for something, for something else, like a lot of people in our industry, and started actually investing in real estate and flipped some houses. With that, started, staging them. And the rest pretty much is history. At a certain point, I had to decide, okay, do I want to run it as like a solopreneur and or really want to move forward? And when I set my mind, and that is not the first company I'm running, but if I set my mind on something, then I am going for it. And then I was really, direction was for growth and replacing me with, with a team. And, that is, what has helped. We made it really through the real estate downturn and had actually one of our biggest growth here during that time because I was marketing the hell out of it. And originally we were focusing a lot on investors and worked with a lot of investors because through the house flipping, I was already embedded in that community. But over time, as market is changing, as well as our clientele is changing, we started to level up. And over the last years, we have really tried to focus more on the premium and luxury market. Of course, in the beginning years, there was also not a lot of colleagues in the market as there has been now. And I think the biggest element, and I think one of my biggest learnings, and also when I'm mentoring other staging companies through HSRA in the US, trying to really think about what's your niche. And that is one of the hardest decisions to make in the beginning. And then even so, we start and might decide on a niche that might evolve over time because our clientele evolves over time. It depends on the people we're hiring. And so we're adjusting and pivoting all the time. That's what I feel. So that was the change. So right now we have actually, we are completely eliminating our entry levels outside of the existing client, and these are volume clients we are already serving, but we're not marketing that actively, but we are referring that business to other colleagues in the Atlanta area. And so I think that's another kind of like little pivot. It is important, similar in real estate and other real estate agents. They are connecting, they're working together, they're referring business to each other if they feel, or they go together on a listing. And, we're really trying to do that with other selected companies in the Atlanta market as well, because we want to focus on what we can do best, and we want to ensure that we're doing the best for our clients. And if we believe we cannot serve our client well with the inventory or with the style they are looking for, then I feel we are doing, it's better to refer that business to somebody who really can do it. We are doing a bohemian style. That's not our market, that's not our niche. So if somebody goes more into that direction and owns that little niche, then it would not be us, because we don't have the furniture to support that style. And so what we're doing really is a lot of streamlining and owning our brand.
That's so amazing, Barbara. And you are one of our wonderful board of advisors. You've been so for many years. You pour in, you give information, you help teach, train, coach others in our industry. And you guys that are watching got a great taste of that. And there were so many nuggets in all that Barbara shared. And one thing that we love being on the journey with you is that you and I both, right? It's the constant, continuous goal of taking ourselves, building the team that can run our businesses without us, and us really being the advisor in that advisory role to allow us to do our highest and best. And you were mentioning, because of course, times are different now. We had so many great goals for 2020. We had our vision boards, we had our strategy meetings, we had our trips planned. I mean, we were ready to go and hit this head on. And all of a sudden, we can all agree this year has not looked like what we planned. But isn't it so true that we find the beauty in the moments and we learn how to consistently pivot? You were sharing with me that in 7 years, I haven't been pulling, and my team needed me today. What does it look like as a true business owner to know when to jump in and help team and then also not be the rescuer all the time, right? I mean, what's the difference there?
Well, I think what this COVID situation, I think, told us all is, change is a consistent, and people who know me and have heard me talk, in the past, I love change. I love the challenge, because I feel, it's really allowing you to move forward. And going also now, and I know we'll touch on that later through GDP, and really going back on the core values. Two of my key core values in the company is, one is, of course, organization. That's a key part, to keep us moving forward, which is always a challenge in our business. But the second one is positivity. And it doesn't matter what is happening. I think we have to have this positive mindset. And what I want to show, sometimes as a business owner, it is, you have to jump in again. It is not, because you're taking over. It is because there's an immediate need. And it's also showing your team, hey, we are doing it together. Because it's not only me. It might be, the sales manager who is now helping, as well, because we're still a small business. And sometimes, and I think that's the key part, it is requiring to hire people with this positivity, but also the mindset, this is not a job. This is not a job. It's also combined with passion. Because at the end of the day, there has to be some, satisfaction coming out of it, no matter, what position it is. And with that, there's also the willingness to help, to get, the work done, because at the end, we want to have the happy smile on the faces of our clients. And trying, not to, allow all of the unforeseen, show that in our work. And for that, we have to pivot and adjust. As I shared with you, I think since 7 years, I have not been, helping, pulling, loading the truck. But we already, right now, we are short with everything happening. We suddenly lost 2 movers. We had a designer, who is out. So this situation, definitely we have to be prepared to pivot in the moment and reassign as needed. But I have to also let you know that I am so proud of my team, because they are doing an amazing job to, feel empowered to make decisions, where I am pretty much like getting the notification. This is what I want to do. I only want to have a final. This is the first time we're doing this. This is my solution. But I wanted to run it quickly by you. Am I on the right track? Did I miss anything? And so the only thing I had to do is say, okay, it's all fine. You're right on, run with it. And that's, what I love. And it's really so nice to see how, how the team is really trying to adjust and work together to get, to get it done, to complete it.
You hit the nail on the head with our teams, right? When we make the decision that our business model is we're going to create something that that we don't necessarily have to run, but we're building a team of experts, but knowing when that help is needed, when they just need to know we're in this with you, right? We have not left you. We're in this with you. And when we need to jump in, we'll jump in, but we also train and trust you to make those key decisions. But at the end of the day, our clients, right, we have a finish line, we have a deadline, and it's all hands on deck no matter what. We have this mentality as team members that whatever needs to be done now, I'm going to be able to do it. I'm in my lane, but if an emergency calls, then I'm willing to happily, with a positive attitude, jump in and help another team member get something to the finish line. And we've got each other's back, right? Behind the scenes, we have each other's back to be able to make that happen, especially in a time of the unforeseen. Pivoting on a moment's notice, I think that is huge. Well, as you mentioned GDP, which is not growth domestic product that we're talking about here, but it's our growth development plan that we created in HSRA out of this time of really heart searching as business owners. How do we not only survive during crisis, but thrive? And knowing that we've got some developmental things that may have had some cracks, we may have skirted through because our companies were growing so quickly. We didn't have time to develop this or that. And so going through this growth development program, you guys just graduated. Congratulations, by the way. You were our camper of week 4. You graduated 30 days of the training camp process where we're literally going through those business concepts and fundamentals to now we're going to be moving into ramp where we bring our teams in, we get them all excited about just new growth and development. So what would you say that going through that first 30 days as the business owner, as the leader of all that you've created, what did that do for you? I know you've got a lot of stuff already dialed in, which is great. And was it helpful in any way?
Oh, absolutely. And I think this is, this is one of the best programs I think we were running in the past couple of years, and it was awakening. Yes, we are, we have a lot of our processes lined up, but there are still also a lot of gaps. And I strongly believe, if we're looking at the chart of top companies year over year, what are the top companies in the country or even in the world? We know everything is changing constantly, and we always have to be willing to grow and and to really move forward. And I feel that this program hits it absolutely on the nail. And specifically, since it is not only focusing on us as the business owner, because we can grow a lot, but at the end we have to grow all together as a team. So I am actually very, very excited about the next phase, where we are interlocking not different departments across different companies throughout. I think this is such an amazing opportunity of learning and growing, because everybody is doing something amazing and definitely better than we do. And we might do something amazing and better than others do. So with sharing and having the opportunity to bring our teams in, to have them align and share, I feel this is an amazing opportunity to grow. We know in our industry, one of the biggest challenges we're having is that, if we're talking real estate and others, there is so many amazing tools out there from a productivity perspective. But our industry, since she is very young, there's a lot of things where, we have developed over time. And, just recently, certain tools come into play, which really are targeted to help us on the productivity side. And I feel, all of the little pivots we can do and share, and the processes and how we're doing things, was even catapult us, moving us forward and, being ahead of the game.
Well, it gets us into vertical alignment where we are individual companies, coast to coast, even internationally, to be able to say, okay, guys, like you said, oh, Barbara's team is killing it in this area. Share with us what that looks like. And then we have, Debbie's team that's just doing unbelievable in sales and really converting at a whole new level. Let's knowledge share together. And it gets us beyond, I guess it expedites the growth. It also collapses the time of what it would typically take of years to learn something. I think that it is huge, and it gives us our own little segment and our own focus, because we are kind of that niche service in real estate as it goes. I mean, people will say yes and no to staging. And so then of course we have stagers that are professional companies, and then we have our hobbyists. So there's a lot of differentiation within our industry and within real estate, a lot of options here. So if we can align vertically, now all of a sudden when they know they're hiring a professional stager, a stager that's aligned with HSRA and our concepts and our values, they know that final product, right? They get an idea of, I feel comfortable and confident hiring you on the front end, not knowing what the results are going to be, but the confidence is there. And I love that your team's going to be involved. This is going to be great. And would you give just a final word of encouragement to stagers that are out there? Maybe they're just starting out and they really don't know what to do next. They're focused on, I need to make a bed look pretty, or which is very important, right? But they're focused on maybe the growing parts of their business. That's the end result. What kind of advice could you give them on a business owner mindset versus a stager mindset?
And I think number one, it is soul searching first, because I think it's the same, when I'm thinking back and working corporate, right? Do you want to be an expert in your field because that is what you love and that's what your passion is? Or do you want to be a manager, right? So that's the same part. It's like really figuring out what is your driver. I think that is an important element on the phase one. Sometimes we might not know, and sometimes we're growing over time. So that's, I think, is definitely one starting point there. Then the next level, I think, is really growing, aligning, and really joining an association, joining, a group of experts. And, with HSRA, that is one. I know there's, other great teaching companies out there as well. To really, it's all about moving forward and leveling up. And that is the most important part. And then the other part is, if you can, try to find a mentor, right? Try to find somebody. But the key element is, and I think that's interesting, we're getting a couple of calls a month from staging companies, and people wanted to learn about it. And the first thing I'm always says, okay, what have you invested, before you even go there? Only as an example, if you will start a plumbing company tomorrow, would you call another plumbing company and would you ask them, to give you all of the recipes, without anything? I think that cannot align. There has to be an investment first and the willingness to give before receiving. And I'm happy to talk high level and answer like a 10-minute Q&A. If that person has, been referred to me from a trusted source, or, I already have a connection, I'm absolutely happy to do that. But having somebody, tag along for a day or things like that is, a whole different element. And I have done that, or we as a company have done it, but only for people who have also, worked in it is somebody you have already built a relationship. Or when I was serving on the board here in Atlanta, somebody was on the board, they're starting, they were going and giving as well. And then I said, okay, if you want to, we can do that. That's another little reward of, also joining and providing services and helping our industry to grow by, by supporting an organization.
Yeah, that's so good, right? So make sure that you take this business seriously and see it as, if that is your goal, for this to literally support your family, to make sure that that passion is there. Now you want to turn that into productivity and profitability. It's a whole different ballgame, right? If you want to just do something that's fun and exciting, it's kind of an outlet for you, that's one thing. Another thing is literally making this a profitable business. And so getting that mentor, getting with an association, making sure you get core training and invest in yourself. That way it's going to happen a lot quicker, hopefully, once you start executing all that you've learned. Well, thank you, Miss Barbara. Blessings to you guys as you are out working and making that next difference in your community there. You're already making such a difference globally in our home staging industry. And I truly believe your company, your family will be blessed at the end of 2020 like never before. We couldn't have planned it if it would have happened in our own way. I truly believe we're going to sit back in December. Hopefully we'll be on a beach somewhere together. We can do a little retreat. And we're going to just reminisce and say, my goodness, we would have never structured it this way. But look at all the blessings and all the benefit. We're in a better position now than we could have ever imagined. And the year's not over. So continue doing what you do best, and we will see you soon.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Bye. Bye.